But long story short, my business pretty much doubled in revenue for the first 4 years. And obviously each year that got progressively harder. And starting from zero, it was pretty easy to begin with. When COVID first hit, they were some of my most successful months revenue wise. And then last year, revenue started to plateau and then drop, and it has every month. It was like, okay, well, next month, okay, next month, okay, next month, and it's been going on for pretty much 12 months. The only challenging thing has been the how behind the business, the logistics side of it. And obviously in amongst all of that is it me? What can I do differently? So I've done the courses, read the books, all that kind of stuff, and I've been prioritizing revenue over profits, and I've been prioritizing growth over stability and simplicity. But underneath that, and I was saying to you off air before about the self-saboteur, I've proven from a revenue perspective I can bring the revenue in, but I've never sustained that. I've gone boom and then tail off again, and then right boom and then tail off again. So underneath that, I would assume that is my biggest challenge, is how can I make it a sustainable level?
Got it. So in that case, is it really about right clients, right price point, right flow, or is it more about how you contribute to this pattern of I'm just at the success that I want, and then something happens to derail it? Like, what do you feel like? What resonates to you more as more relevant?
Both. I mean, of course, you can't have the former without the latter. How do I then manage my own inner pattern of retaining that and allowing that stability?
If we're just poke and prod a little bit deeper into that one,
yeah.
Right? Because initially when you started the call, you spoken about, okay, so I started my nomadic journey by being in this engineering company, way over my pay grade. Then suddenly he threw me, however you want to call it, to the wolves, and then I had to figure it out. Then it all came crashing down, and then I started this other thing, and then highs,
Living in
lows,
chaos.
yeah. So to me, right, and especially the sentiment of no, I actually am very stable. I jump into things way above my pay grade, and then I go through the frenzy of figuring it out. But I like stability in my life. I don't like chaos. It's totally fine, right? So that dichotomy, what comes up for you with that?
Yeah. As soon as you started to say that, I was like, oh yeah, well spotted. Yeah, no, I do enjoy chaos, and there partly just because you get a lot of growth in that, but also because there's ego in there, of course, as well. To say that I went from cleaning toilets on a mine site to running a $4 million business within I don't know, 12 months or whatever it was. There's ego behind being able to say that.
So would it be safe to say there's a lot of comfort in intensity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is definitely a pattern in my family.
Okay. So that was a pattern growing up as well.
Yeah.
And would it be safe to say, you don't have to by all means get into details, but would it be safe to say that chaos was the familiar feeling and I had to learn how to navigate my way out of it more so than stability, calm, and peace?
3 words you would not have used to describe our household growing up. Not even close.
And the high highs and the low lows, do they reflect something from that time?
Yes. Yeah, they do. It was very high energy. It was very competitive. And that's including my mum. There was a lot of tension. There's a lot of fighting. My parents were always, and I mentioned this in my blurb to you about the financial situation, their financial blueprint. They said multiple times out loud, live slightly beyond your means. That was literally the way they lived. And they weren't necessarily boasting about it, but I think they claimed that was the way to go. So they were always in their overdraft or, just either side of that.
In releasing these patterns that generally aren't really yours, right? High energy, high competition, this was how I grew up as far as my parents and things like that. But it's finding the calmness in that in a way that actually allows you to continue to live in a way that's still prosperous, that still gives you an outlet to make use of this gift, but that isn't distorted and playing out in ways in your life that you don't actually want. So how does all of that land for you?
Yeah, it lands well. Agree completely. I can either continue to treat the symptom, which is to meet my need for chaos and just find cliffs to jump off.
But does it feel complete for you with regards to what you've uncovered today, or is there still something left outstanding?
No, it does. It feels really good, actually. Thank you for that. I've never spoken to anyone for this length of time who's obviously as knowledgeable and as tuned in as you are on this specific topic, because I have a coach myself. I'm in a group coaching program, and it's incredible, but it's a group, and there's loads we've attacked this kind of thing from lots of different angles and never gone down this specific rabbit hole, which has been, it's been really enlightening. That it comes down to being at peace. When you're at peace with who you truly are and you're meeting your needs internally, you don't need to meet them externally. So I shouldn't need to go and validate myself through chaos. If I'm at peace and comfortable with myself, then that need will be met. It's very powerful. It's really good. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. I'm just looking at my notes on the board. It was really cool to tie together a few things that in isolation I knew, but I've never brought them together before, and just joining dots. Like I knew what the relation, my dynamic was like at home. I knew how my patterns at work had showed up. I knew what this, that, the other, but now I never sort of brought them all together and synthesized them, I suppose, to make sense of it. And it's something I've wrestled with for quite a while, because I've been conscious of the self-sabotage nature, the boom and bust, so to speak, for quite a while. So it's really cool to have a lot more context and clarity behind it. So yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.